Did you grow up in Seneca County?
No, I didn't. That's why I wondered if you really wanted me as one of them.
You don't have her tell her
I
name.
came
This is
when I was 13.
And
I'd grown up already.
you came here when you were 13, you said?
As a freshman in high school.
Where from?
From Williams County, Bryan, Ohio, Blakesley, Ohio.
Okay.
You never heard of that one?
No, I haven't.
Bryan? You know
Bryan? Okay.
I'm sorry.
What made you come here?
I came here for high school to prepare possibly to be a religious sister.
Really? That's awesome. What inspired you to become a nun?
Oh, I think my teacher, my 5th grade teacher probably.
Really?
We had the sisters from here for teachers. The Franciscan sisters. I don't know. Do you know about the convent?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. We have what we call our main house, our mother house here in Tiffin.
Okay.
And the sisters from here, who were older, would go out to the different places and teach. And they came way out to the little town of Blakesley, which is about 100 miles from here, to teach our rural school. It was a Catholic school, though. And she was just an inspiration. This one teacher was just an inspiration for me, and I thought, oh, I wanted to be a sister too.
So she inspired you to come out to Tiffin?
Right.
That's awesome. So you've been a nun since, you said you started in high school or shortly after that?
Well, I entered from high school, yeah.
Okay.
I've been in over 77 years.
Wow. And through your time as a nun, where all have you traveled?
Oh, a few places. And let's see. I'll just say in general where they are. I have to go back. Went to school, college in Michigan, and I had some education in Illinois. I'm just saying the states right now.
Yeah.
And to the hospital in Kentucky, and to work with agricultural workers in clinics. I was a nurse, not anymore. In Florida, and then I was a missionary for almost 5 years, not too long, in Mexico.
Wow. Wow.
So I've been around a little bit, but not as much as a lot of people.
Yeah. What you said you went to college in Michigan?
Yeah.
Where in Michigan?
Detroit, Wayne State.
Okay.
For my postgraduate work.
Really? And then you said you continued your education in Illinois?
Well, it was a postgraduate course, just a year's course in Illinois, Springfield, Illinois. Don't ask me the name of it. I haven't thought of it for a while.
Out of all those locations, what had the most impact on you?
Oh, probably my time in Mexico.
Really? What was that like? I've never been to Mexico.
No. We worked
Where in Mexico?
Way down by the Guatemala border. In fact, the bishop invited us down. That's a story in itself, but I won't go into all that. We worked with the people to try to better their conditions, especially their health and their economic positions.
So mainly just poverty. You guys were down there.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. What's been your favorite part about being a nun?
Oh, I'd have to think about it. I just have had a good life, and I've enjoyed it, even with all the sorrows and joys and all difficulties. some people might think that the life of a sister is just all, very nice and no problems at all, but we have the same problems as other people do, except we pool all our money, all our income that would come, we pool it in a general fund, so we don't have the personal use of our money except what we really need. So, but I've lived a good life. I've had a good life. I'm not sure how much you want me to go into that.
No, it's fine. Excuse me. Who's the most interesting person you've met throughout your travels?
Oh my goodness.
I know that's a lot.
I think maybe the bishop who invited us to work in the diocese
Really?
in Mexico.
Really?
He became almost a model for me to give our life for others. Really.
Was there any specific interactions that made you think that?
Not any specific ones,
Really?
just as general.
He just had a large impact on you?
Yeah.
That's really awesome. What is the most challenging part about being a nun? What's the hardest thing you've faced in that endeavor?
Oh, I'm not sure what I'd say was the hardest. Maybe not always having the money we would like to have to do things that would be helpful for other people.
Yeah. With your time, not you traveling abroad, but with you doing work in Seneca County, what can you go through what a daily routine like that you would do as a nun? Like what was your day to day as a nun?
Oh, well, it was different. I was a nurse, as I say, but it was difficult. We had to work hard, and as a nurse, we had day and night work sometimes. I mean, not continuous, but
Yeah.
we were called at night, and I'm not sure.
And you did a lot of your work at Mercy Hospital?
No, I haven't worked at all at Mercy Hospital.
Really? So where were you based
Well,
out
I
of?
took care of our older sisters here
Oh,
in
okay.
the infirmary. What we call the infirmary would be like when they're not able to take care of themselves. Be like assisted living right now. What we call assisted living, but we didn't call it that in those days. We just, whoever was not able to care for themselves. So I really didn't, I only had a few years in real hospital nursing, but I did it mostly in clinics for the people who were not able to, for the poor people there. Not able to pay or didn't have insurance and depended upon the government. I worked with government programs
Okay.
that were funded by government programs in there.
Did you know at an early age that you also wanted to work on the medical side, like being a nurse? Or did you just kind of find that along your path of being a nun?
I probably had a model for that too. My oldest sister was a nurse, which was kind of unusual in those days because she was born around 1910, and she went away to school to be a nurse. So I don't know what prompted her. I think she was probably one of the first in our family that was a nurse, but I'm not sure what prompted her.
But you just kind of saw her do it and you kind of wanted to follow that similar path?
She was a real example for me.
Yeah.
I probably had some thoughts at that time. It was kind of glamorous. She'd come home on weekends and, think my big sister was out of town, was coming home for a visit.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, but I learned that it's more than glamour. But still, I've loved nursing. Most of our sisters here were teachers. They were just starting to become nurses around the time that I entered. So I did have a choice to be a nurse or a teacher at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's awesome.
I was able to choose nursing.
That's awesome. Oh, also, what is St. Francis doing to celebrate its 150th anniversary?
Oh, my goodness, we had the one big celebration with a mass, a very special mass, and then a banquet afterwards. That was a specific celebration. But we've been celebrating all year, trying to promote the Franciscan values, maybe in a special way. The values of peacemaking. We're more geared in these days to work with the poor, the very poor. Our sisters are in various ministries where they work almost directly with the poor. Or the immigrants. We've done a lot of work with the immigrants and the migrants. We started out way back in probably in the 50s, working with the migrants.
Wow.
We go out to the migrant camps. So, what was the original question?
Just what are you doing to celebrate the 150th anniversary?
Okay. And we celebrated our ancestry, the sisters that went before us, with a celebration or a prayer service in the cemetery. It was very special because we have a lot of sisters buried out there. In fact, probably more than we have living right now.
Wow. That's really cool.
Just kind of common thread through this year that we've been trying to promote more than ordinary values. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Sister Libby. I really appreciate it.
Okay.